Hello world, my name is Tim Ruswick.
And I'm Rick Davidson.
And we're playing a game called Hue. We're going to talk about what makes it work. You ready for this?
Ready and raring.
Okay, I'm going to restart level so everybody can see because this game has a cold open. So it's recommended that it plays with a controller, so that's what I'm doing. Movement feels good. I'm jumping
cool
around.
So far, yeah. Okay, platformer. Envelope.
I got an email.
Nothing to do except for run left to right. Clear. Dearest Hugh. I've had the most dreadful luck. I feel terrible that you've been left alone all this time. Okay, traitorous Doctor. Okay, so if you're into story, cool, there's story, but you're not stuck. You can still move and play. I like that a lot because we've already established I'm not much of a story guy. I'm like, I want to jump and bounce and shoot and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
story,
this is the best of both worlds, I think. There's a
Yeah.
voiceover in the game too, so it works. But if you like the Rick version, you got that one too.
Oh, was I reading it? Yeah, and once again, I can't hear the audio for viewers at home. Why is Rick reading the stuff that we can read? Shut up, Rick. I'm trying to listen to
Someone needs
this.
to make a mod so we can have the Rick version. Can you do my GPS navigation stuff too? That'd be great.
This is a little long, it feels, like this whole, you know,
Yeah.
platform. I think you needed to have done some stuff before now. It's good that you can do stuff while the story is going along, but I think they could have done that story in probably half the content, personally.
Mechanically wise, that was not super interesting, but like if I cared about the story, like okay, I could be like understanding the world.
Yeah.
That was just running and jumping, and I feel like everybody knows how to do that at this point.
But that's a good takeaway so far, like good lesson for a platform creator or any sort of game creator is let people play the game and listen to the story. Don't force them to just sit there and watch the cutscene because then they'll skip it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is zoomed in. I like this amount of zoom. And the world's very black and white. I haven't seen this game, but I'm guessing you're turning the world from black and white to color. It looks cool. I like it.
It's got a, you know, this is like a really dark and gloomy background, but it's got the music that's playing in the background is like this piano, like lighthearted, like almost like happy kind of deal.
Okay.
I like how this look. I really like this aesthetic though.
Oh, and then first bit of color. That's cool. That's good punch.
Hello.
Hello.
Hugh, is that you? Thank goodness I've been trapped for days. Well, we're gonna help you out. I have a feeling this game wants me to help him out. Okay.
Okay. Wrong button.
Did he tell me to press a
Okay,
button?
so you don't
Did I miss
have
that?
a way to dig it. I wonder if there's some sort of clever. So here's a good puzzle, good challenge. We know intuitively we've got to help this guy out. We know we've got to get past the rocks, but it doesn't say push the X button to break the rocks. I
Right.
like that. Treat your player like they're smart.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how long before Tim
We-
rage quits
we
and
may
throws
be
the
here for a
controller.
while.
How do I get past here?
Based on how I did with gunpoint, I think it may take a bit.
You nailed it. You nailed Ape Out though.
Well,
If you
that
haven't
was
watched
my
our
kind of
video,
game.
Our Ape Out video, Tim was nailing it, playing
You
so
run
well.
at people and you hit one button to smash them against a wall. I can handle that.
You not so good.
Okay.
So how do we feel about this gameplay moment? I'm starting to get a bit frustrated watching you just sort of do the exact same thing 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Just bounce into the rocks. I'm guessing you're trying all the different buttons to figure something out.
I ran at it, I jumped, I pressed everything, which is what I normally do.
And we'll see if there's any clues on the screen. There's nothing. There's 2 weird guys and their names under them. That's all I can see. There's a miner.
What's going through
running
my
up.
head is I was kind of jumping through what he was saying to me. I'm wondering if I missed something right now. So like
Well,
I'm
if
actually
you
going to the
shouldn't-
like blaming myself first, like, oh, did I say something too quick, or what did I do, or like did I miss something back here?
I think this is more likely that you have to go backwards. Although this is a long going backwards. This is a bit too far. Maybe the well.
Yeah,
If
like
there was
there's
a little.
door
Oh, you
here.
could go the left. Oh, there's other spots.
There's paint.
So it could just be.
Pick a tool or something. No.
I think you can go left and there's something else that way.
Okay, so yeah, like the world has shown me like, hey, there's other stuff here, right?
Yeah.
I
It
go
could
balcony?
be one of those things again. If you like figuring things out, then you'll be so happy that the game didn't say, hey, go and find the magic crow and get the magic pickaxe. Because now we're sitting there saying, What do we do? You're gonna feel smart when you figure this out.
Yeah, so the first time I went through here, I missed all this, but the fact that it blocked my way made me go back and say, oh, there's other stuff. There's a boat. Like, I didn't see any of this, so...
That water looks really cool. Oh.
Okay. Glimpse of something. Something unusual. Down past the lighthouse. Okay.
Okay. We're being enticed by these little bits of color. Like, I find that interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what's this?
Ah.
So I got my blue hue, I think.
He was so blue. Okay, that looks like you've now got a thing you can do. Oh, that's cool. That's a nice little reveal. I like it.
Pointed to the sky
now bits of the world are blue.
It is this shared vision, this
shared
unquestioned understanding which connects
So my
us.
first thoughts are, yeah, I really like how it's
you
been
really
painted
seeing
blue.
blue the
You've
same
brought
way
some
I
color
see
back to the
it?
world. That's clear. I know what I'm doing. My purpose is to bring
blue
color
is
to the
nothing more
world, or
than
at
a
least
shade
it
of
seems
grey
that
to
way.
you. Perhaps
But
everyone in this world
what I'm
sees
taking out of this
nothing
game
but
so far
shades of
is that
grey.
it's a platformer. The basic
Only
mechanics,
see
jump,
you.
run, etc., aren't different
this
to
is
other
why we're
platformers.
here.
But just with this one thing of having the world black and white and then bring a bit of color to it, it feels fresh and different and interesting.
Yeah.
So they've clearly invested their time into this one feature and not worried about all the other features so far.
Okay, so when I turn the background blue, well, it was a background. Now it's a blue ground. I can walk through it, I think. They just disappeared.
Don't know how
Who
you did
cares?
it. Who
I'm
cares?
saved. Thank you. Okay, so I really like, so what at first I thought was like maybe a problem with the game or a problem with me forced me to backtrack, and then it made me explore a little bit, and then it gave me that feeling of discovery where now I got a new power and now I can like understand the basics of the game. I actually, that went from like a maybe not so great moment to a really cool moment, I think.
It's an interesting one from a game design point of view. I felt that moment was a bit frustrating. Like if you'd run to the left, you would have never had that moment. So half of the people, well, most people are going to run right because that's what you do in a platformer. You run from left to right. So I'd say 90% of people would have run to the right. So there's a little bit of frustration there. I think I would have liked a little bit more indication that when you get blocked, you need to go somewhere else. But you know, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. That's going to be a personal sort of thing.
I think it's really important in these first couple moments too, because the game is training you how to react to it, right? And what I think that told me is I got to look around a little bit, right? Like I may had the answer been right there later on when I encounter a problem, I might expect that same sort of like solution, you know?
Hand holding. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, so here's another example. Oh, I can't jump to get up there. And the game's already taught us. If you're going to black and white mode, maybe you can put down a...
Can I go? I don't know if I can go black. I have to hold...
Once you go black though, Tim, you're never going back.
Well, I can't go
matches
out
what
of
we're doing
blue.
here, but
okay.
Once you go blue, you're done through and through.
Is there a reset button? Because it turned...
Well, last time it told us if you can't do it, keep going. So let's put that theory to the test.
Right, okay. Yeah, there's another path, so I assume this game so far has taught me to look around a little bit, which that's how I
But
approach
options, like I bang on about having 2 to 5 choices for the player. In that moment there, you've got a choice of keep persisting or move forward. I like that. I like the idea that it didn't say there's one way to go, stay here and figure it out.
Right.
Oh, I'll keep going. I'll see what happens if I run all the way to the end.
And this is kind of shown, like I said, that it's that kind of game, which is cool. Okay, so maybe the world starts this way, and then once I change it, I can't. Unless I have another color. Let me see. Hello there.
Is there voiceover going at the moment?
There's no voiceovers for the chats, but there's voiceovers for the ones on the bottom.
Okay.
Don't play too close to the water now. All right.
Okay. I bet you can fall. Oh no, you didn't. I wasn't. Okay, so here you can get rid of that blue.
By changing to I want to go through, but I can't.
Okay.
I think I have to have another color to replace it with, which I think I might get soon.
Okay, and then you're gonna fall. Whoa! Nice.
No fall damage.
Okay, that's cool. Learning the game. and then that's taught us we can go to the left. Oh, you have to be close enough to it, do you? Yeah.
Hold X.
Hold,
Okay.
new feature. So again, pretty standard block moving, platforming mechanism.
This is something I want to... So, no.
Oh.
So it only showed once. That prompt only showed once, right?
The X to pull?
Yeah. I was just checking. Because another thing that I've started to realize in games is like it's really cool when games show you the keyboard controls or whatever input method you're using, you know, versus like just a generic one.
Right. So it knows you're using a controller rather than saying push, you know, X on you or A on the keyboard. It's on the controller. Okay.
All right. Nothing too crazy yet. Oh, this is interesting. So I got boulders ahead
Rocks
of
are
me.
going to fall. So you're going to move that wooden crate out of the way. No!
Let's see what happens when you
Everyone
die.
at home watching was like, Tim, don't do it.
Well, I tried it because I can go slow-mo. I didn't...
No.
Oh, okay.
Pull the crate towards you.
My brain is doing this backwards. I'm thinking I have to switch to blue, but I can walk on blue. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Always blue. Always blue. Oh, yeah, there you go. And then...
Can I crouch? I can go...
And then,
oh, okay. I get. Okay.
And then you could... No, I think you pull that back towards the wall. Okay, yeah. And then jumpy jump. Nice.
Okay, so this is like a puzzly type of exploration kind of game-ish.
Make it all blue. You might have to jump and make it blue. Oh, no. I was going to say mid-air. That's a lovely background. I like the... It's not just a solid blue wall. Oh, and little parallax action as you move it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So a good note for developers out there, when you're doing a background in a color game, you don't have to just have it as solid blue. Even better than that, give it some life, make it interesting. Because the color is the star of the show in this game, I think.
Yeah.
The character is just sort of there to be the support for the color, but it seems all about the colors. So when you do change color, make sure it's a good moment. Can you go, you're gonna get bolded. Can you go left of the water?
I don't know if I can make that.
Okay, no, don't do it, Tim. I think you have to go left of the dragon head.
I see.
Think donkey head.
That boulder and then jump on the
Fill it in.
boulders.
A little bit of nice physics, good.
This
Oi,
is terrifying.
That's cool. Pull that, jump down there. So far, they're fairly good puzzles. They're not super complex. There's not a lot of sitting there getting stuck.
I feel like they are perfect for like flow state. Like they're incrementing just enough to kind of keep me interested.
Yep.
Which is good. Okay, so this one.
Run, Forest, run.
Oh, when it hits me.
Oh, okay. Insta death with the boulders. It's fine. You just got to run down to that ladder.
So now it's gonna chase me. That's interesting.
Oh, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Blue. Don't laugh.
Oh, and they put spikes at the bottom.
Distracting.
That's something I would do as a masochistic level designer in Phalophobia. But my game is based in hell, so it makes sense that in my game I can. Boom. Ladder.
So, as a guy who's made platformers, Tim, what would you do? Oh, potion. Okay. What would you do to kind of change the platforming gameplay here? Is there anything? Is it bang on that the whole color stuff is enough? People are engaged. They're like, cool, that's different. You change colors, great. Everything else is ladders and boulders and crates you move. Do you think it needs anything else?
You know, the movement feels really solid. This... I can't say anything for the platformer stuff. This feels pretty solid. Like, any kind of features that aren't here would just be my opinion and not like... not necessarily improve the game, you know what I mean? But like...
Well, I understand that people who do YouTube videos often express their opinions. So, you know, have at it, my friend. Don't hold back. Rick, we're doing a serious video. I can't give you an opinion.
I would love, with all of the ledges and the vertical movement in this game, I would like some kind of like ledge grab or jump or something, but I don't really feel like it needs it so far.
I like these characters, and the spacing of the characters is good.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm getting, I'm not playing, I'm watching, and you know, when you watch, it's a little bit different. You got to be careful not to just, whoa, that's cool, like zoomed out. I like this stuff. This is what I'm getting at. Some variety, something that some wow moments. Oh, a new piece.
Purple.
Like that. Purple. Is that purple or is it pink? Or is it mauve? Looks pink on my monitor, but wow.
One thing that I don't
Oh, you can make the
get, like, I get that it's got PC controls too. I wish this snapped, because I'm using the thumbstick right now. I just wish it was either this or this. It's kind of weird to like have full control.
I bet the developer hearing that would be like, "Oh, I so wanted to put in Snap, but I ran out of time. Don't say that." Or I
Snap
tried
was
it,
in from the beginning, but we changed it last minute.
You know, people using a mouse cursor couldn't use it, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's very likely a reason for that. Keep getting emails and it's giving me anxiety. I don't want the emails. It gives me flashbacks.
A note for viewers at home out there: if you're looking to contact Tim, not through email.
Don't. Please don't.
It's the hardest color for our eyes to distinguish.
Just send him a Twitter, random Twitter.
There we go.
Imagine a shade.
Oh, that looks like it's
one
crashed.
step further.
It's kind of weird how I
Oh
can
no,
jump
it's just
on the
my
ladder.
screen.
A color beyond what we can
But-
actually perceive. We call these impossible colors.
Yeah, what I'm exploring as well is a little bit that as a developer, you're going to play your game 1,000 million times. And the concern is that after a while you're going to say, this is too simple or too boring or too repetitive. I'm going to put more stuff in there. And that's a real art to know, a real skill to know, you know, is it enough? Do I have enough stuff in there? And one of the best ways to know as you go through your development is to have people play it constantly and regularly. People that haven't played it before, because I guarantee you people, ladies who made this game would just smash through this so quickly. They could do it with their eyes closed. Dunk, 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 dunk. And after a while, you're going to say, is my game too easy? Do I need more, you know, complexity? That's the get people to play your game, I guess is what I'm saying here.
No,
cool.
I literally went through that too, because like that's what I was worried about for the Phylophobia launch is the beginning just too like boring, and like when other people play it, it's just enough to keep them interested, but when I play it, it's like, oh my god, this is so. But like I'm teaching them how to jump, I'm teaching them what the enemies do, I'm teaching them how to interact with the world, so like a lot of this is necessary. Like I feel like I've learned, like basically we've learned that colors affect the world, right? But like there are like probably a dozen minor little things that I've also learned that have to do with colors, like boulders can fall, things can happen, doors can open, like hidden things can be in the world, and now I want to check constantly in this black and white region to see like what the colors are. That's something the game didn't teach me, but I just kind of picked up. So I
think if you have some rules as you're making a game, for example, the rule might be no consecutive 30 seconds of my game will be the same. So in other words, if the player's doing something for 30 seconds, the next 30 seconds has to be different to give variety. I'm a big fan of that. Make the game like different, chop, 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 change, particularly a platformer.
Ape Out was fantastic at that.
What was, sorry?
Ape Out was fantastic at that. It just kept changing stuff up.
Well,
all right,
and then you can
go through this.
Oh,
see, that's a new thing.
That's a cool moment. Yep. And that moment came, 30 seconds or a minute after the previous one. So even if you've been playing your own game that you've built over and over and over and over, you can ask yourself, get out your stopwatch. Was it 30 seconds to a minute between different things that happened in my game? And if it is, then cool. You don't need to go and mess with it and try to add complexity. You're on the right track.
This game too is using zoom and scaling of things to kind of
Oi. Talking and controlling it. Don't drink and drive.
I can't do both.
Don't operate heavy machinery well.
But it's using it's zooming out on the higher parts. I don't know if you noticed, but when we were scaling down the camera, I was at the top of the camera, not the bottom, so it was showing me what was below me. It's really making good use of camera placement, and that's something that if you do, I'm gonna do this again, aren't I? I almost did it again. I have to do this in midair. Switch.
And it slows down. That's nice. At least, it gives you a slowdown. That's really cool.
But camera placement is something that, like you see the zoom out now, and I'm at the bottom of the camera. Little things like that, if done right, you won't notice. right? But it just makes the experience so much better. Like I've played so many platformers that lock on the character.
Oh yeah, and it gets a bit stale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do we know what engine this was created in?
I do not.
Because what you're showing here is really simple nowadays with Unity. I know you're a Construct 2 guy, yeah?
Construct 3 now.
Construct 3? Oh, look at you moving up in the world. But Unity, you get this really cheaply with the camera, just being able to change, zoom out a little bit, zoom it in. You can have it conditionally based, so for particular things happening, then have the camera move in and out. So yeah, if you're working in Unity, making a platformer, you've got no excuse to not be using some sort of nice camera flow in and out. Like just here, see how it moved in a little bit? And you can have it when the player starts to run. When the player's moving, you can have it go out a little bit. And when the player's standing still, you have it zoom in a little bit. So you can have it conditionally based upon the state of the character of the player, which I think's super cool.
One thing I love to do too, and this game doesn't seem to do it, but if I'm moving right, I like to put the camera a little bit that way, and I'm moving left, I like to put the camera a little bit that way, just so you can see where you're headed.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is why it zoomed out, so I don't really need that here.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Color.
You zoom out, you go up to this temple thing, and this is a cool moment. I like it. You have a little bit of a celebration moment. We're up to 3.
We're 3 in 20 minutes so far. So like that's the pacing that I think is good, because like, okay, I'm starting to get, and I think with the way that this game works, each color makes this exponentially more challenging, right? Because now it's like, okay, now there's lots of crazy little ways I can switch this.
And if the awesomeness of the game comes when you've got tons of colors, then you don't want to drag that out too much.
Right.
You want the colors to happen pretty quickly.
Bathed in an earthy orange light when I first met Dr. Gray. Summer had come and gone, and a cold autumnal
I'm kind of not.
caught me off
Well, I
guard.
guess you and I are chatting. If I was just playing the game on my own, I'd probably be listening to the story a little bit more.
When a cool breeze threatened to blow
I
my
like
notes
that you're
across
still
the
able to
lawn.
move while the
A
story's
page escaped
happening.
my reach, and
It does feel a little bit forced,
a man
though.
not much older than
Kind of like
myself chased
Seems like
after
they
it.
give me
Long
these
on his
long
third or
sections
fourth attempt.
specifically to make me listen to it.
I remember his gentle smile when he returned it. We started talking, and I was surprised that he had
I
read
don't
my
know.
work in the university
I mean,
journal.
opposed to like a
Said
cutscene
he
that a
was
lot of people would
professor
skip,
that he hoped we could work together.
I'm not
someday.
really learning anything.
It's
And I
funny,
wonder if this would get in the way
so small.
if I'm actually presented with a legit
So
puzzle.
much.
I'd be like, shut up, I'm trying to solve this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think when it comes to story, all that stuff there, I know we weren't really paying attention to it and skimming it, but it didn't feel like I needed to know that. It seemed like just pure exposition. Oh, you back to...
I like this. I like that
like
it's like
stuff.
full circle, but like within 20 minutes, I now feel like a different person in the same spot.
Yeah.
Right? That's a really cool thing.
The hero's journey. Look at you.
Yeah, within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I want to explore the town a little bit more and see, hey, what can I...
Yeah, that is cool. It's also reusable assets, which I'm a huge fan of. If this level's already been made once and you've placed all your assets, then make the player run back through there, but make them run through there feeling like they've leveled up. Look at all the stuff you can do now.
I don't have
tons of
pink,
stuff in
though.
town. You've got a different relationship with the same environment, which is just such a lovely way to get more out of
The guy we
your
saved.
assets.
You got
Hey.
something for me? Thanks so much for saving me. Those caves sure
Welcome to
give
my
me-
cramped house. Yeah.
You're not gonna give me anything? Hey, that's 10 gold at least. Listen, I've learned something from RPGs. Okay, and this is purple.
That bird's got to... If that bird
Where?
doesn't end up being like the final boss or god of the world or something...
He should be a colored bird so I can make him disappear. Okay, can we go out the window? See, I keep checking. One of the things I would love that maybe, this is just me as a game designer, but like, this is such a cool mechanic to hide stuff.
Yeah.
And I would love to like just check this one time and like see a secret passage somewhere.
I bet that'll happen though.
I bet
We're not
it
yet at
will.
the point. Yeah, I think later on. I don't think I'd be at the point just yet. I'd be frustrated if it was like in that room I needed to turn it to yellow. I didn't even think about that. But at some point, I can see us being trained that we need to do that.
Okay, we don't have green either.
Green. We need some green. That's also a good way of saying come back here when you've leveled up to green.
I've seen that twice so far. I want to go for a swim.
What happens if you jump in there?
That's what I was gonna say.
Who would have thought?
I saw in the lighthouse. Okay.
And a lot of what we do in these reviews, and you know, if you're watching this, give us feedback on what you'd like to see. Maybe you'd like to see us playing in the second hour of the game. A lot of the reason that we're starting it up from scratch and playing from the first part of the game is that's where players more often than not make up their mind. Is this a good game? Do I like it? Am I going to tell people about it? Am I going to keep playing? So you've got to hook someone in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. Hence why we review the first 20 minutes of a game.
Okay.
And I think after playing this game, I can see that personally I felt it was a little bit slow to start. But now it's ramping up to the point where I can see, dang, this game's going to have tons of complexity.
Right.
So in hindsight, the pacing was perfect for the start. And I'm just sort of watching someone else play. That's why I felt it was a little bit slow.
Well,
but how did you feel about
For me, like, I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore gamer. So I like those games that are almost kind of like meditative and they don't require abnormal, ridiculous amounts of cognitive effort, you know?
Yep.
So I've really enjoyed this kind of pace so far.
We worked long hours and
I always go into games a little critical because that's just how I've trained my brain as a game designer, but like it's very, this is like one of those games I could totally pop on a podcast and just kind of like zone out, right?
Yeah.
I like, okay,
Yeah,
so
it
when I
looks
was
like
starting to get
you-
environment art and like
yeah, that's
chains and they're making clinky sounds and they look cool.
Nice.
Look, this is amazing to me. I love this. There's like physics-based chains. That's just delightful to me.
Do you think any players get there and be like, look at the physics on these chains, or is it just game developers are like, wow, where are their anchor points? And I wonder what sort of settings they've got. Yeah, gravity.
I just think about the pain in the ass it is to like make something like that.
That is good though. But players, as a player, I like to do that. You like to bump into
Yeah.
things. You like the flowers to kind of move away as you run through them.
Right.
Those little touches. It's the same mechanic or the same asset over and over. It's the chains over and over and over. But you put them in a lot of places, and it's kind of fun to keep bouncing into the chains.
It's a good addition, and it came like, so the environment art is starting to change slightly. We've got the chains and we've got the candles. I don't think the candles were there before. I could be wrong about that. What happens if I change in the middle? Oh, I can't. It won't let me. Okay. I was gonna say I can't. That seems.
That would have been a technical problem to.
I mean, that's a great, easy, simple solution. Just don't let them.
Yeah.
Right.
If over the top of the color, then don't snap.
Sometimes the best solutions are the simple ones. Oh,
See how close in the camera is now? Do you hear anything with the music to support, we're in close, I want you to think more, it's a bit more dangerous?
No, it's really chill. It's like piano, like happy type of, I don't know. I like it. It's very chill.
But it feels a little bit more personal at the moment because the camera is zoomed in quite close.
Yeah.
So, again, that point. Oh, jeez. Again, that point of variety, and camera is a really, in platformers, camera is a really cheap way. I don't mean cheap as in hey, put more effort in, but cheap as in from a scope production point of view. Camera is a really affordable way, effective way to get this sort of variety.
I like how these puzzles are getting, they're not just one-off puzzles anymore. They're requiring more and more colors, and they're getting more and more complex, which I like.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, again, it's just the standard pushing blocks around, but by layering on top of it the color mechanic, it's super deep.
Yeah. And then like one color can usually like for 2 blocks, which is kind of cool. I wonder if this will fall. It does. So it like takes it away from the world completely.
What happens if you try to put the yellow back now?
It's there, but it's just
in front of it.
now it's red. That's interesting.
Oh, that could be layer upon layer upon layer, couldn't it? When you get merging of colors.
Yeah.
I could see that in the future, that you've got a color in your color wheel.
Now we got
that,
a key.
Oh, okay. Oh,
See,
geez,
okay, so
the other main
pacing
thing,
of this
keys
game,
and doors.
it's pretty solid. Like it has, like I can see as a developer it being very, very difficult to figure out how much you give the player how quickly. But in hindsight, playing for what, like 30 minutes now, the pacing is on point. I've learned a new thing every couple minutes, like you were saying, and I feel I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel like I've gained quite a bit of knowledge, but I've gained it in little bites to where it's pretty great. And like I don't feel intimidated by a puzzle like this. I know it's possible, and I know that I got to use this. I'm not like confused. I don't think I got to do a wall jump or a crazy like flip or something. You know, a lot of games, like I said, if you added a wall jump like I recommended before, like maybe I might think, oh well, I got to do, you know, something else or weird. I actually like how I know this is what I got to do, right? This is my main mechanic. This is my thing. This is how I solve the puzzle. Because a lot of puzzle games, the mistake they make is like the players think they know how, and so they try the wrong way over and over and over again. And I think the wrong choice should be blatantly obvious, and the you don't necessarily have to give them a solution.
Those
right?
walls are clearly too high. You can't. It says you cannot jump up here.
Right. It like if it were just above my head, I might keep trying to do that over and over again. You know.
And you know, it fits with the character as well. If you gave this character now, like, hey, you've got some special boots, now you can do wall jump. It feels like it would break the character a little bit.
Yeah.
The character's not a wall jump kind of guy.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think, given the experience that I went through over the last couple minutes, I think this is really solid. I enjoy this quite a bit. And so it pushes the orange block if orange, but then it goes straight through it.
So now you need to,
So
that's great. I mean, that mechanic there, this one little screen with its puzzle, I think summarizes the game so well. Switch the colors, push things around, think about the relationship between the colors, and maybe we can summarize what we've learned from this game so far. The main thing I've learned is that it works really well, saying I've got, in this game, we've got one new thing, the color switching mechanic. Everything else we're just going to do platforming, just best practice platforming. You jump, you push crates around, you have a key that opens doors. Not trying to reinvent anything there, not trying to give the player any more complexity than the player needs, like we're talking about wall jump. The player doesn't need that. The thing about this game is that one thing. So again, if you're at home working on a game or thinking about your game design, just have one place you innovate. Everywhere else, keep it best practice. You don't need to go and do crazy other unusual, weird platform type stuff. Just regular platform stuff is enough.
Totally. I agree with everything you said, and I think like the simplicity is key to this, because like I said, the more mechanics you add to this, the more confusing all of the puzzles become, because there's a bunch of things at my disposal, right? And I don't know what the right way is, which most likely would lead to me doing the wrong thing over and over again, thinking it's the right thing. I think this game does it fantastic. The platformer mechanics are not complex, and I think they're not complex on purpose because they're not the focus, right? The running and jumping is not, it's not like Super Meat Boy or Phalophobia, where like, you know, you need to master the run and jump to get it perfect. Yep. This game requires
that's not where the skill is.
Right.
Yeah, the skill is not in jumping, the skill is in puzzle solving.
Right. And I think that's a great way to approach it, right? Like whatever's not the focus, dumb it down to like its core. It doesn't need to be super complex. Like I think Mark of Ninja did that. I remember hearing the developers say that they had this crazy combat system in Mark of Ninja, but Mark of Ninja was a stealth game. And when you give somebody a massive combat system like that, they want to go fight. They don't want to hide in the shadows, right? So they had to remove a lot of that. And I think that applies here. So I think what makes this work is a unique aesthetic, as always, and the pacing is fantastic, and the mechanic is really interesting and really deep.
Yeah, I'd add to that as well. The thing that we're picking when we're reviewing games to say, does it work or not? Is it a good game? We're trying to find games that have one thing that stands out, one innovation, one bit that's remarkable, one feature that has a standout from the rest. And I think the color switching mechanic here is that feature. It works really well.
I agree. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you want to see us talk about a game, what makes it work, leave it down below in the comments and let us know your thoughts. If you're on my channel, head on over to Rick's channel and check it out.
And if you're on my channel, check out Tim's channel.
And we will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.
Okay, see ya.